So this is Scott Lloyd's swim on the end of a mild wind at the end of winter. We find Scott intently watching the water. Scott, talk us through your setup here. Why are you sitting on an unhooking mat? It looks like you're travelling light today.
I always try and travel as light as I can, really, but still at the same time, I always generally get 3 or 4 nights, so I have to almost find that balance. You know, I can't travel with no food and things like that, and I need to have enough bait and that. But yeah, I'll try and cut down to the essentials, as I call it. But yeah, the reason I'm fishing on the barrow at the minute is basically I've just done last night in a swim a bit further down in a bit of a channely area, and yeah, nothing happened last night. Basically, the way I'm fishing at the minute, I'm on the zigs. Generally, a lot of people would fish like bowstring tight lines in that sort of situation, but I fish them with a bit of a drop in the bobbin, especially when I'm trying to locate them, because that can always be a good indication of you know, where the fish are at. You know, fishing for liners. Generally, if I was fishing in the air during the summer and that, they're quite easy to locate. I wouldn't want to be getting liners. I'd take that as a bad thing. But now, I'm just trying to, basically, I'm getting around the pond, putting my rods out of a chance of a bite. So. And also I'm moving my eyes around then, aren't I? Rather than just being fixated in one swim, I can move around, keep my eyes on the water, but also the rods will tell me if there's any fish out there as well, hopefully with a bite, but if not, some liners, and that'll just give me confidence that there's fish in the area or not in the area, because that's a good thing as well. You know, if I find where the fish aren't, I can start moving around, hopefully start picking up some liners or seeing fish in certain areas, and it's that process of elimination. That's what I'm trying to do. And the reason I'm like this is just because I don't like to set everything up. You know, I've just got little bits and bobs out what I need, brew kit, and yeah, basically my eyes are constantly on the water, as you say. If I see anything to go on, that'll let me. Sorry, I just thought I see one, but it's matey putting a lead out. Yeah, that'll make me stay here, and if not, it'll make me mooch around. You know, it keeps me confident, keeps me keen, and yeah, helps me try and locate the fish. And generally, I do, but it is January.
So if we came into a swim, generally, would we often find you sitting on your unhooking mat with your waders ready to go and not much kit around you?
It depends, really. You know, that's quite a tricky question. It all depends on the situation. But on a day like this, real mild, you know, it's January. If I knew where the fish were, I would be static, you know, because I know where they are. It makes sense to get yourself in that area. And if the fish are there, then just keep fishing for them. But in a minute, I'm not 100% on where they are. I did have them locked down last week, but now they definitely seem to be in a different area. That's where I started this week, where I had them last week. And yeah, now I've done a night there. I'm happy to say that the fish aren't there. I haven't picked anything up. I haven't been getting any liners. I've not seen anything. And I stayed up till like 2 o'clock in the morning last night. Got up at before first light this morning, about 7:15, and I've not heard or seen anything. So that's enough of a period for me to do in that area. That says, right, let's go and try somewhere else. So that's what I'm doing now, keeping my eyes. You know, I did see a few shows last week, so that sort of says these fish are awake, they're moving around, and I did catch from a couple of different areas. So again, that says they are moving around. So if the fish are moving, I'm moving. You know, some people forget they have got tails. But yeah, that's basically what I'm doing. I'm trying to eliminate certain areas and use that as my way of finding fish. And again, focusing my eyes on the water. Any sign of anything is enough to go on for me, especially this time of year.
And I know you've moved this morning without prying your eyes away from the water too much. Can you come and show us your barrow kit and how light you travel for a 3-day session?
What do you want me to do, walk backwards? Oh. Yeah, basically I've got, my brew kit and that. Rods are out. All I've done this morning is pat down, whack the rods, all still made up. Literally, I'm on zigs at the minute, so I've just hooked them on the bail arms, put them on top, barrowed down, rods went out first, and then I've sort of brought my kit into the swim. But yeah, basically all I've got is, brew bag, food bag, all thinking anglers, of course, and bed chair, browie, just I haven't spent any time. That's a rubbish bag, it's essential. And that's my camera bag, little rod bag, and that's it, that's all I've got. You know, for some people, especially in the winter, you know, they like to carry, even a browie, some people don't like to carry, but I just like it because I can pop it up in 2 seconds and it's rocking. The thing is obviously you've got to have tackle, but for me, everything on the bank, it's all materialistic. You know, it's just comforts, yeah? It's all about, for me, it's all about the last 6 foot and where you put it. You know, this isn't going to catch me any more fish. All that is, and these are as well. So, yeah, it's all about the last 6 foot and where you put it. And the most important part of that statement is where you put it. So that's where these come into play. Wherever the fish, it makes sense, doesn't it? You know, I'd rather, you know, you need a rig in the right place, otherwise you ain't going to catch them. So that's what I'm trying to do. Eliminate where the fish aren't and find where they are.
And it looks like you're well practiced in loading a barrow so you can take stuff off that you need from the top. Are you confident that you could pack up now and get on the move to the fish, and then once you get to a swim you can get unloaded quickly?
100%. I reckon I could be rounding a swim over there before you could get there, if I'm honest. No, honestly, yeah, I've done it so many times. Anyone that knows me or has fished around me knows that I move a lot. And that isn't just for the sake of it. You know, I'm moving for a reason. There's always a reason. You know, I've even had people almost chasing my tail because they think, you know what sort of angler I am. And they're like, why is he moving down there? You know, and it's almost cost me fish. I remember times on Stone Acres, it got to a point, you know, everyone was watching. And at one point, I found some fish right down the opposite end. And I thought, if people see me move down there, they're going to know. So I ended up putting my tackle in the car, driving all the way around off the complex, chucking my gear over a little dodgy back fence and then driving back and then just walk down. Got a few rods out and, you know, people were definitely surprised with that one. It was a little sneaky move. But yeah, I always fish off the barrow when I'm trying to locate them. But look, once I've found them, don't get me wrong, I'm just the same as everyone else. Get your pitch set up and, yeah, off you go. Not finding fish is a positive thing to me. Sorry, I'll turn this kettle off. Yeah, not finding fish is a positive thing to me. And the reason of that is because it's a process of elimination. So if I spend, like I'm doing here now, I've been here for a good hour, probably spend another hour just looking, watching the water, trying to maybe get some liners, hopefully pick up a bite, you know, watching all the bird signs, if there's birds sort of thrashing around on the surface, looking down, twitching off. There's been seagulls out here showing me that there's hatches out here. You know, if I'm looking for all these things and also fish showing, you know, then that tells me that there's fish there. But also, if the fish aren't doing that and the birds aren't doing that and I'm not getting the liners and I'm not catching fish, you've got to flip everything on its head. So by not getting them things, that's a positive thing as well, because I'm finding where the fish aren't. And the best way for me to make people understand it is like by turning that into a positive, it makes me do it a lot more. So you've got to put yourself in a situation of standing there for hours and hours looking at the water and listening to the water and looking for these signs, lapping the lake, climbing trees, all that effort you're putting in. If you class that as a negative and you're like, oh, well, that wasn't worth it, you know, it's not a waste of time doing that, I'm not doing that again, you're going to be disheartened, you're not going to put in all that effort ever. You know, if you take it as a negative. So I flip it into a positive. Right, so I've been looking here, checked them trees, there's no birds reacting to anything under the surface there, I'm not seeing any shows, I've not got any liners, I haven't picked any bites up, right, buzzing, so they're not there. And if I do that in a few different areas, they're not here, they're not there. It's that process of elimination, you know, and before you know it, because you're spending so much time actually looking, because it's a positive thing, you've seen one, or you've seen a fish scatter, you've seen a bird scatter, sorry, you've picked up some liners, you know, it's that effort that literally equals the reward, you know, and by turning it into a positive thing, it makes me do it all the time, you know, up in the night, getting up for them alarms in the night, you know, getting up before first light, travelling all these miles. If I wasn't turning things into positives, I wouldn't be doing it, would I? So, you know, I try and stay really positive at all times.
And you're fishing for liners, but you're fishing zigs, and most people fish zigs with a bowstring tight line. Just talk us through your thinking and why you've got your rod tips under the water as well.
Generally, I will fish bowstring tight lines with zigs once I'm on them. But what I'm doing here is I'm actually trying to locate the fish. They're not showing, I'm not seeing signs of them, I'm not seeing bird signs. And getting liners is another way of indicating whether the fish are there. So basically I'm fishing a little drop in the bobbin, super sensitive alarms. Anything touches that line, I'm going to know about it. And it also, that is a reason for the tips under the water. What I'll do there is I did start with them, you've caught me mid-phase here, I did start with them right down, now they're sort of mid-down, I will lift them up a bit and then maybe potentially even up more. And what I'm doing there is I'm changing that line angle in the water there. So if the fish are swimming, you know, especially zig time, you know, they're looking for that thermocline or for whatever comfortable reason they're in whatever layer, you know, I'm adjusting the angle of the line in the water. It's a way of trying to pick up liners at different angles of the line, really. Did I just hear something then? is I was up there earlier when you see me. I've moved down now into the sort of middle of the lake. I'd say that's the sort of top half where we were. Moved down into the middle, sort of into the deeper water, just to do exactly the same down here as I was up there. Basically just testing, see if I see anything, get any liners, hopefully bites, see any bird activity and things like that. So all I'm gonna do, I got to do anything, just get the rods off, and the alarms, net's ready to go. Got the leads in my pocket. Might have to wade out just because of the trees, but yeah. And I'm just gonna fan the rods across the swim, different distances, different angles, just to sort of spread the lines around. Hopefully pick up some liners or fish. I mean, as bad as it sounds, you might even sort of feel a fish on the drop on the way through the water column. It's been something that's happened over linear many a times. You know, there's a lot of fish in there, cast out, and you feel the lead go through to a group of fish, and like I say, as bad as it sounds, it is a way of locating fish. So yeah, I'm just going to get these out quick time, because the longer the rods are in the water, the more chance I've got of locating the fish. So. Is now to probably give it another hour or so here. Probably got about 3 hours before white, so I'll give it another hour here, and if I see something, you know, I'll give it longer. Obviously I could end up even doing the night here. It's all based on what I'm seeing, what's happening. I've got to keep the eyes on the water, and I know that's a bit, you know, I haven't got my eyes on the water now, but I'm doing this, but it is frustrating me that I'm not watching the water. But yeah, the plan is a couple hours here maybe. If I don't see anything, I'll go and try somewhere else, and then maybe settle back into the swim that I was in last night, because I was planning on doing a bit over the other side there where I finished up last week, where I actually had a couple of bites, but someone's come over there now, so there's 2 lads over there actually, so it's put a bit of pressure in that area. So maybe potentially, if the fish are out here, it could end up back in the zone where I was last night. So that's what I'm going to do, I think.
And you talk about you're always alert, always listening. You've got if you take a phone call during the day, it's on speaker.
Yep.
At night, you're just looking at your messages. So you've always got one sense working for you.
Yeah, basically, I'm always trying to have the eyes on the pond as much as I can. Eyes, ears. I'll stay up late. I'll be up early. I really burn myself out. You know, if I get home and I'm not mentally and physically drained, I know that I've potentially not worked as hard as I could or should have. But when I get home, I'm absolutely knackered. You know, I really need to catch up on my sleep, and that's just because I've just got that power. You know, these fish in here are what I want to catch, and they power me to do whatever I need to do. You know, I've got that end goal. It's all about end goal, and the fish that I want to catch out here, what give me that end goal, the drive to do it. You know, it's the same as if you're in the gym. If you haven't got an end goal of either losing weight or getting strong and big, you know, then you're not gonna succeed in getting that goal.
And you're moving today, you're quite active today, but that's your response to the fish moving. If the fish were tightly shoaled, perhaps you'd be a bit more static? Yeah,
without a doubt. You know, I know that these fish are active, but just based on last week, I caught fish in this zone, caught fish in that zone. I was seeing bits going on. The shows the fish were physically moving, picking up liners. So that tells me that these fish are active. And if these fish are active, I'm going to be active. I'm trying to locate them now. I got here yesterday. I started over there, did an hour, moved over here, did the night. I've moved once, I've moved twice. You know, potentially going to move a couple more times, just trying to find them fish because I know they're active. However, flip it on its head, if it was really cold and I felt like the fish had got into that real sort of winter mode where they go to ground, they're sat in areas, one sign is enough to make me batten down the hatches. If I see one show, one bird spook off, get a couple of liners in a zone, that's enough to say, right, these aren't moving around a lot, it's really cold, I'm not seeing signs of the fish moving, I'm going to stick in this area until it comes good and wait for them windows of bite times, because the windows seem to get real small. You know, they might have 1 or 2 mouthfuls, who knows, you know, but they're definitely not up to loads of stuff.
And we've got to leave you at the end of today, but you've got a couple of nights ahead of you.
Yeah, I have, yeah. I've got 2 more nights, 3-night rule on here. I've done last night, I've got 2 more nights. And yeah, I mean, if I get anything, I'll let you know. It's a shame that you've got to go. Would I like to spend the night with me? But yeah, if I get anything, I'll let you know and I'll send you some pictures over. But if not, you know, I just love being out anyway.